What is it you want us to do?
Directed by Roland Emmerich, Independence Day was released in July of 1996, an action sci-fi spectacle about humanity under a sudden attack from an impressive and cruel alien race, bent on the destruction of mankind and taking over the planet. I was first made aware of the movie from watching a trailer on my grandmother's television, which was muted at the time over my grandparents and my dad in conversation. But seeing the trailer with no sound did nothing to lower my interest in what I was watching, this obvious war between man and aliens. My eyes widened, and I was very impressed with the visuals, and I immediately began to wonder what it really was, my curiosity in full tune from then on, so I anxiously waited to see more trailers pop up on TV over time. When I first saw the sequence of the White House being blown up by a massive alien spaceship, I was absolutely sold, hooked like a fish. I had never anticipated a movie like this before. When I was 7, I remember having a nearly overwhelming excitement to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, my favorite cartoon, being brought to live action, and seeing the Turtles in real life was something fascinating for me. The next big movie that impacted me was Jurassic Park in 1993. It was a movie I hadn't anticipated because I didn't know what it was. I had seen no trailers, and I only went with my father because he had an interest in seeing it, having no idea that I would be completely blown away and later become obsessed with the movie and with dinosaurs for a long time after. Independence Day was the next movie to do this, and no movie since has ever had such an impact on me. The Matrix trilogy came awfully close, and of course there were tons of movies I came to love before and since, but Independence Day wasn't like all the rest. It was almost a personal thing for me, like the movie was made solely to pander on my true inner thrills of awe and wonder. It literally became my favorite movie before I had even seen it. I just knew it would be something special and amazing to witness. I remember doing a lot of drawings of the movie, doodling massive alien ships hovering over big cities, blasting laser beams and causing destruction, already trying to imagine what this movie would be like. I was so excited to see it. And when the time finally came, I remember having this feeling of nervousness, like I was about to ride a really scary roller coaster. And I had never felt that before. My excitement was too much. July 2nd came, and my dad and I went to the show together, at last able to see this extraordinary battle between man and alien. Did I enjoy it? You're damn right. It was everything I had hoped it to be. Looking back on this memory 20 years later, a lot has faded, but I was sure then I had my all-time favorite movie, and that feeling is carried on up until today. The characters were great, my favorite being President Whitmore, played by Bill Pullman. I really loved his speech to all the men preparing for a final counteroffensive, plus the fact that he had decided to join them in the fight itself, instead of safely monitoring behind some satellite screen. To which I've heard people say was stupid, but are you kidding me? It was a brave and noble action, which showed just how passionate this man was to lead his men and defend the Earth. We are introduced to each character smoothly from the beginning, getting to know the people who will be vital to humanity's survival. Whitmore, along with David Levinson and Captain Stephen Hiller, all provide a unique perspective of the plot, with Whitmore as the leader, David as the brains, and Steve providing action and comedy. I've often heard people say they enjoyed this movie simply because Will Smith was funny in it, and if you are one of those people, then you completely missed the point. I like Will Smith a lot, but his character is only a small piece as to why Independence Day is good. If you're just looking for a laugh from Will Smith, I suggest watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air instead, or perhaps something like Men in Black, which is more focused on comedy. The special effects were truly incredible. Even today they still hold strong because most of it was a collection of models and motion capture. Traditional effects always work better than CGI, and they use it rightly for every action scene in this movie. The alien ships are very detailed, and the scope of their size is portrayed greatly. You really feel the weight and immenseness of such incredible visuals. From the aliens' arrival, the walls of fire tearing through the cities, dogfights between alien attackers and fighter jets, the destruction of the first ship, all this and so much more. At the time, nothing like this was ever really attempted. It was most similar to the War of the Worlds movie of 1953, but at the same time it was entirely its own thing. Independence Day remains a special movie because it was something that served me on every level. I've always been taken by alien movies, especially ones where aliens attack the Earth in a military-style fashion. It makes for an interesting and fun concept, but there was nothing like Independence Day since 1996, in my opinion at least. Over the years I continued to obsess over it, wearing out the VHS tape of the film, doing countless drawings and artwork of aliens attacking cities and dogfights in the skies. I even drew a small comic-like rendering of the movie in sequence. I owned a few toys early on, including an invasion set piece with an alien ship and jet, but I never got as many toys as I wanted to have. I got the video game for PlayStation back in 1997, my first PS1 game, which I still have today and it's in great condition. In 2002 I bought the official movie poster and soundtrack. It was my first online purchase ever, and I still have the poster framed and on my wall. I even once built an alien city destroyer out of cardboard just because I was bored one day. In my senior year of high school, I painted the Independence Day aliens looking out at Earth as my final art project. Later I got a hold of a novel by Stephen Molstad that was a prequel to the movie, and I enjoyed it very much. Recently I attempted to build the alien attacker in Minecraft, and I thought I did a pretty decent job. My latest piece of merchandise is the 20th anniversary Blu-ray edition of the film, which came with a model attacker ship and concept art booklet. This is a movie I've watched more than any other. If I had to guess, over 20 years, I've watched this movie perhaps 150 times. I could recite every line from beginning to end with no problem. I've watched it to the point where, for a while, it was burnt out of my interest. You see it so much that you kind of get sick of it. Though I would say being sick of it is kind of the wrong way to put it, because I was never really put off by the movie at any point, but it eventually reached a time where I stopped watching it for a long while. But like I said, no movie has ever impacted me like this one, and until a movie creates the same effect for me, it will remain my favorite no matter how many times I've seen it. Overall, Independence Day was an absolute hit, an incredibly pleasing slap across my face that still stings even today. Chances are you've already seen it, but if you haven't, I suggest you give it a try. It is definitely worth it. We all have our favorite movies that touch us and affect us like no others for countless reasons. To me, Independence Day was the pinnacle of this, the definitive meeting of a very exciting movie-going experience. And because no movie has affected me in the same way before or since, it continues to remain everlasting and strongly holds the title as my favorite film of all time.
In less than an hour, aircraft from here will join others from around the world. And you will be launching the largest aerial battle in the history of mankind. Mankind, that word should have new meaning for all of us today. We can't be consumed by our petty differences anymore. We will be united in our common interest. Perhaps it's fate that today is the 4th of July, and you will once again be fighting for our freedom. Not from tyranny, oppression, or persecution, but from annihilation. We're fighting for our right to live, to exist. And should we win the day, the 4th of July will no longer be known as an American holiday, but as the day when the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.